I just feel bad for the people who meant to buy tickets to $1 Million Arm. A Million Ways to Die in the West is the latest movie from the Uber producer Seth MacFarlane, the mind behind animated shows like Family Guy and movies like the Mark Wahlberg teddy bear comedy Ted. He's known for material that is crass, sophomoric, full of pop culture references, and sometimes downright hilarious. So does this Wild West version of the MacFarlane locomotive chug down those same tracks? Well, for the most part, sure. Though I think much less successfully than many of his other outings. Let's hit the positives first. Let's see. Neil Patrick Harris is of course good. There's some really fun cameos. And you know what? I actually enjoyed seeing Seth himself on screen. Now usually he's doing a voice or just behind the scenes writing and producing, but he took a full-on acting part in this one and actually wasn't completely awful. I mean, he's not putting on an acting clinic or anything, but he held up okay. One of the reasons for this is he basically wrote a part that was exactly him, as if he had time traveled back to the Old West. While many of the other characters seemed to be people of their time, Seth's character, Albert, was very much a modern man stuck in the 1800s. And I think that conceit worked for the most part. Plus, he understands his role. There's this line where someone calls him a hero and he replies, "No, I'm not the hero, I'm the guy that makes fun of the hero's shirt." He gets that he's not doing anything world-changing here. He's just trying to gross people out and make them laugh. And that self-deprecation is probably the best thing about the movie, keeping us from ever taking anything too seriously. Of course, the downside of that is that any heart or drama the movie tries to enact falls flat as well. I mean, I actually like that Seth tries to inject his raunch fest with some meaning, and I think it mostly worked in the movie Ted. That movie was surprisingly touching, but here, any of the more heartfelt moments or dramatic tension just don't work because the movie has taught us that nothing in this world is real or truly valuable. It also makes the movie feel incredibly boring through stretches, and at 2 hours, you walk out feeling like at least 30 minutes of the movie was story filler. Of course, the worst thing is that we're this far into talking about a comedy, and I haven't felt the need once to mention how funny it is. I mean, it's not that none of these jokes land. I certainly found myself amused and smiling now and again, but overall I say they landed at about a 20% success rate. Of course, much of this will come down to whether or not you dig MacFarlane's patented brand of crassness, which is often both intellectual and infantile, and it's likely because it veers much more towards the latter in this one that it just didn't work for me overall. Plus, I have to be honest, some of the racial stuff in this just feels downright icky. I mean, I get it, it's a takedown of how awful the 1800s were in that regard, but still, in a comedy like this, to get laughs out of it, I don't know, I just didn't like it. Overall, A Million Ways to Die in the West is a comedy that is only occasionally funny. Seth MacFarlane's laid-back approach makes for a likable enough lead, but steals any depth the movie might have eventually developed. I give it a C-. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. You can stay tuned for this review's best ever challenge here in a bit. But first, I want to throw some stuff up over here you can click on. If you'd like to subscribe, which I'd very much appreciate, do that by clicking on the big gray subscribe button. You want to see more? Well, Maleficent is out this week, so you can click here to see my review of that. You can also click the logo right up here to go to the all-new YourMovieFriend.com, where you can find a searchable database of reviews, as well as the written text of these videos. And finally, this review's best ever challenge. This is where you name the best movie ever in a particular category, and also try to identify my choice. Here we go. What is the best Western comedy ever? I'm partial to the one that had a little bit of Asian flair to it. Drop your own answer and a guess at mine in the comments, and the first person to guess mine does get a point. Thanks, and please subscribe.